less than 48 hours away from finally having the election results. You guys can stop fighting with your families, and we could potentially watch Bitcoin finally break past its all-time highs, guys. We got a ton to break down today with new polling, new market updates, and of course, what is going to happen to Bitcoin's price no matter the outcome in less than 2 days. We opened up a short position. I'll be explaining why we did so today. So make sure you guys stick around. It's easily a 420 like day, as chat likes to say here, guys. We got 200 beautiful people already watching here today. So get excited. But what a weekend. We have DZ, of course, with me, TJ with me. How are you guys doing over the weekend?
Doing great. Ready for the election turmoil over the past, over the next 24 hours. And I just hope that we know tomorrow evening. That's all I ask.
Well, I want to ask chat here, guys. Let's just get a preemptive guess in the chat. Who do you think is going to win? Let's put a poll up in there. Ooh. Trump or Harris? Yeah. Because I do want to start the stream with what has been crazy to watch, which is, of course, the presidential winner for the elections on Polymarket. Donald Trump was almost at 69%, that dirty dog. I did actually just watch The Apprentice over the weekend with Leo from the UK and, of course, Hannah Hughes, who might be in the chat. But what a terrible film. What a terrible film. I cannot believe they let them launch that before elections. Crazy.
I thought you were talking about the TV show.
Yeah, I did too.
No. I watched. There's like a movie that just came out with the guy that plays, who's the guy with the metal arm in Captain America? Bucky.
Okay.
He played, great actor, crushed it. But they put some very questionable things in there that cannot or will not be ever proven. And so it's kind of like they're being sued. Trump's suing them for that. But either way, it was still actually a pretty decent movie. Just kind of left you with a major cliffhanger. But I think it's because it leads you into The Apprentice.
Okay.
So I think it's like the run up to the TV show. But I've never seen that.
I watched that show religiously. I watched The Celebrity Apprentice. And in 2015, I dressed as Trump. That was a year before he became president. So I was a huge fan of the TV show back in the day.
See, 2015, I dressed up as Barack Obama for Halloween, and let's just say I'm not allowed within 15 yards of a school anymore.
Shout out to Barry Sotoro. Everybody hit that like button because it is a fantastic Monday. We had a great weekend, and Josh is going to go over some of the crazy volatility with the coins. What the heck's what's up with Bitcoin?
The coins are going crazy. Bitcoin here, $68,352. So it kind of is just giving us this crazy up and down momentum in the market here. Ethereum down below $2,500. So as we warned you guys, man, we warn you every single day. If Bitcoin could not break out and hold above that, altcoins would be decimated. And of course, we've seen Bitcoin come back from $73,000 all the way down to $68,000. Shout out to anybody in the Telegram. We had our greatest trade last Friday. Yes, we ended the weekend with over a $20,000 profitable day.
Hey,
beautiful day in the market. We were excited being able to play the short side of these markets. We also had some swings there, but Ethereum, altcoins.
Real quick. I'm curious. Let us know in the chat if you guys are in that Telegram trading group. If you guys have been trading along, put a 1 in the chat. Yeah, as Josh likes to say, if you're in that group, I'm just curious. 2, if you're not, I'm gonna go ahead and pin the link to join in there for those who do want to. But I'm just curious who's in there trading along. Like Josh said, a lot of really successful trades. Have a lot of people having fun in there. A lot of people making money, which is what we like to see.
Real quick, before we go further in the show, Raul is wondering, now you didn't color your skin tone when you dressed as Barack.
I was wondering full out, dude. Robert Downey Jr. style.
Are you serious?
Dude, it was, no. I was like 12 in 2015, dude.
Yeah.
Kids can get away with it.
I wasn't, how old was I? I was like 7. Yeah, well, I guess it could have been. Yeah, 16, 17 years old.
That would have been wild.
No, okay, so just to be clear, that was a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah. It was a joke.
You just wore a tan suit, carried a Newport, and push your ears out.
Hold up. What's wrong? I can't dress up as my hero?
Tan suit, box of Newports would be a good
Interesting. Costume. Well, B&B here, down 50, well, 500, I had no transition there, $557. Solana, $162, a little bit of a pullback. Definitely stronger than a lot of the price action and a lot of these other cryptos. XRP, the world's greatest stablecoin here, still at 51 cents. And Dogecoin, getting a little bit of life into it. It is pumping hard. And if you guys click on those 24-hour time frames, Dogecoin, none other than the leader in the last 24 hours. This is because, and I believe, Dogecoin will rip if Trump wins. Now, we might have a first initial buy the rumors, sell the news event, but Doge, we have to talk about it. We are going to be getting a Department of Government Efficiency, and you've had now even Joe Rogan ask Senator, what's his name? What's the bald guy? why am I spacing out on him? He dresses
Fetterman.
Fetterman, thank you.
Fetterman.
John Fetterman. He asked John Fetterman what he thought about it, and even he liked the ideas. So there's a lot of momentum going towards this efficiency committee out there. And wow, to anybody out there that just believes meme coins are dead, if they win, I think meme coins are going to be one of the strongest plays in 2025.
I'll tell you, one of the things I was most excited about when it came to political stuff over the weekend was the Ron Paul addition to the government, the Department of Government Efficiency. It sounds like they're pretty serious about that. And seeing this is the first time there's actually a legitimate chance for libertarian views to actually make some headway, which is basically just less government. And that would be where I would say my views fall, is in the libertarian camp of basically leave people alone and make government smaller instead of constantly making it bigger. And it's pretty, I really, really, really hope we get this Department of Government Efficiency, because it's the government's just way too big.
I know Ron Paul would never go after a squirrel. Ron Paul would never.
And we have Borns in the chat be like, wow, Josh, you didn't know at 20K in a day. Yeah, well, Borns, you were there for the 5 minutes. We did lose 2 positions after that, but then that night we opened up another position and made over 6K. So
yeah, I was
that
gonna
was
say,
a 20,
it was on. You did it on stream
1K?
too. You
I did it on stream, and then I went live in Telegram, lost 2 stop losses, and then later that night I hit another huge play. So, man, Borns, man, dude, just smile a little bit, just go outside, get some sunshine, enjoy yourself. I am enjoying myself. That's still $15,000, even if it wasn't the 20K. But either way,
can you take a half step to your left?
I can. And
perfect.
We have TJ's favorite number 2, Athena here. Did you buy your Athena yet, TJ?
I have not purchased any Athena. It's all right. I'm still waiting on altcoins. Like you guys know, I've talked about this a lot when it comes to altcoins, and I'm glad too, because Bitcoin is still holding up the best. It's still volatile with these elections, and until we get past these elections with more certainty in the market, I think we're going to continue to see Bitcoin be the dominant player. So I'm still very heavy Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Ethereum losing against Bitcoin, but DZ and I were actually talking about this morning, looking at a video for, later in the week, or maybe Thursday or something like that, about when altcoin season starts, what to expect with these altcoin pairs, and when the right time to move into altcoins is. I'm still, like I said, heavy believer in Bitcoin dominance right now, and I think it will be, time for altcoins is 2025 in my opinion.
I 100% agree. I think we need to wait for that dominance to break. And that's why we've been warning everybody on the meme coins. It's like, if we put out a video at the exact top again. It's kind of like how this just ends up being on this channel. But at $73,500, we're like, guys, we're at 80 extreme greed on the fear and greed index. We need this to pull back. And once that pulls back, you're going to probably watch your altcoins drop 10, 20, 30%. That would be the ideal time to maybe start looking to DCA into those entry points. But yeah, Borns, I'm just messing with you. Absolutely love and appreciate everybody that's in that Telegram, guys. We just want to see smiles across the board today. Because guess what, guys? Half of this chat is about to be brutally hit with a reality check in just 48 hours. So we need the smiles. We need to feel good. We need to feel united for what might be only 2 more days. But MogCoin here, up 5.34%. So 2 of the top, 3 movers, 5 movers really, are going to be Shiba Inu, Mog, and Dogecoin. Meme coins leading the space. Zcash, never been a fan of. It's Barry Silbert. This is Digital Currency Group. And there was a bunch of weirdness going on with, of course, not only, I think that was tied to Lunaterra at one point, but you had, of course, all the Larry Summers activity going into the back end back in 2022. But Stacks here, $1.47, but top mover here last 24 hours. And it's a bad day when XRP is leading the way, right? That is just, it's a slow market out there, guys. Top losers in the last 24 hours, Thorchain here. Yeah. Mantra.
No,
and
real quick,
Chainlink.
there's been some updates on Thorchain. Thorchain is a project I've been a fan of, but I don't know if you guys are following along. They, due to regulatory concerns and because they've got Thor Swap or whatever their swap dex that's attached to it that does the fees and give back. So they're having to separate a couple of the products. So that caused a pretty significant pullback on Thorchain for that reason. So I'm a little less bullish on it than I once was. I do believe in it for decentralization, but this is a pretty significant change. It's a little disappointing, but it's also not too surprising when you consider the regulatory issues that we have right now.
Yeah. So hopefully that changes here this week. But Chainlink here, number 3, down to about $10.39 here. But what I would do is pull up FOMO here. Let's see. Our fear and greed index is now at 46. So we have definitely cooled off from that extreme euphoria we just saw, just a few weeks back. This could definitely continue further down, but this means that if we were at a $66,000, $64,000 Bitcoin, you're pushing really into that huge, deep fear category of these markets. So
yeah, and I don't know. Can you see the historical? Can you go back and see what it was at yesterday? Like,
yeah, of course.
Yesterday, I would be curious to see if it was like 40, closer to 40 or 39 or.
Yesterday we were at that was the 4th.
No, today's the 4th.
Go to
today's 4th.
Yeah,
yesterday
no,
was
I'm
the
just
3rd.
trying to find it. The peak on the 3rd was 69.
What's the low though? I want to know the low.
The low, which could have been on the 15, would have been 25.
Yeah. See, I think right now over the weekend, these prices that we're seeing, this to me is a pretty decent buying opportunity if you do have money on the sidelines. These 68K ranges, I do think post-election, we're going to be going up. Once the market knows what to expect, we know, things should get better. So I feel like this was this 68K price range is a buying opportunity if there ever was one.
And speaking of buying opportunity, on the 5-minute, looks like Bitcoin getting a little bit of strength. Maybe it's the disco fan all market buying as we started our show, but you know what? That's why you love this show, folks. We go live, Bitcoin starts pumping. Now hit that like button.
We'll take that because half the time it dumps. But also, we have a question here from the chat that I wanted to get you guys feedback on. Harrison Murphy said, Discover and Joshua Jake gave a good video about Trump or Harris winning yesterday. Talked a lot about not going all in right now. What about all of those like me who have a bunch of alts? Should I sell all my altcoins? Now, I have an answer to that, but I want to hear what you guys think too. Would if somebody's got tons of alts right now, maybe they're a little beat up, would you recommend selling it or not?
I just have a hard time selling when Bitcoin dominance is so close to reversing, and I think it could go up 61%, 63%. I don't think it goes much higher than that. Right now, we're sitting around 60%. I would hate to, I would hate for you to miss out on this insane opportunity. I wouldn't be selling my alts at this point, but I'm not selling my Bitcoin either.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Josh?
I think it just depends. Like if you're holding XRP, I'm rotating those old tokens. Like we have the proof at this point.
But you're buying different altcoins with those.
Yeah.
Altcoins.
No, not necessarily. I would be taking my altcoins that have not moved, and because that Bitcoin dominance could reign for another couple of months here. But I'm not talking like the Swees or the products that have done really well. I'm talking about the ones that people have been holding. They're still 70 to 80% down. They haven't performed. They're the polka dots. They're the, hate to say it, maybe the Cardanos out there. I would be rotating potentially into a very low leverage short position on Bitcoin just to hedge myself in case that downside comes back into this market. So that way I could take those profits and roll it over back into altcoins.
Yeah, I like that.
I am hedging myself right now for these elections. That is all I am doing with these portfolio plays. But TJ, what are you doing?
No, that's good. I really like that. I would say I wouldn't recommend you get out of all your altcoins, but that's a good caveat to Josh's point. If they're very old, dead coins, I would rotate into something to be, that you think might have more upside. But I would take the best of both of what you just said. I also agree with DZ in the sense that alt season is close. It's right around the corner, and you've probably been holding these things for a very, very, very long time. And I would hate to see you sell them right now, right before we get into that part of the cycle. So if you've been holding them for, say you bought this in 2022 or 2023, and it's a relevant altcoin right now, let's exclude the H-bars and the algos and the XRPs and all, basically everything that was ISO 222, just take all of those, but if you're holding any of those, I would rotate them into more relevant altcoins.
And I'm guilty of that, but you bring it up like it's not just those three tokens, like Polygon-matic, right? Like I'm guilty of holding some of these plays. And luckily for me, TJ DZ, we've been in these markets for so long. We're up usually in a lot of these positions. Like sometimes, like with Polygon-matic, it was one of my first 100Xs. So I'm biased to holding it up, even though it's only up like 22X right now for my initial entry point. We have a lot of different positions on these price or these plays here. But yeah, moving forward, the reason why I'm hedging myself is because if, again, worst case scenario, let's say this ends up being a buy the rumor, sell the news event. We get Gary Gensler for another 4 years. Yay, W's in the chat. That's what we all want. And we get that negative pressure against altcoins. They could drop another 20, 30, 40% against Bitcoin until that dominance breaks. So that's why I'm hedging myself. Low leverage position. You have to, to get wiped out, you have to have significant volatility. And it's just to hedge yourself against that possible play. And if we get a pump, fantastic, because I'm still holding on to my strong altcoin portfolio. I still have a ton of Bitcoin. We're still going to gain, that 10, 15%. Our portfolio is just hedged to make sure that we don't lose.
Love that.
That is the point there.
So the follow-up question then becomes, what are the top 3 altcoins you would rotate into? And I'll say each of us give one. Can't be the same one. I'll go last.
So Johnny wants me to talk my baby Ondo. I would probably be going. It depends on the elections, and we've been very vocal about this, guys. There's no guarantee Trump wins at all. It's going to be very, very close. So, and I have nonstop talked about this for the last like 6 months at this point. So, depending on who wins, I'll either position myself more into tokenization and more governmental plays, or I'm going to be accessing a lot more DeFi because I know that's going to be a road that is clear.
All right, I'm gonna put your feet to the fire. Pick one coin right now.
So Ondo, if Harris wins, Arrow or Jupiter.
One coin. Ondo. All right, DZ. One coin.
A risky play. No one's expecting this one. I see Render having some opportunity. I just checked its market cap, how close it was not that long ago. We go to the 3-month. It was over $2.5 billion a month ago. Yeah. Literally a month ago, it was over $2.5 billion. Today, down 1.7. So that's pretty good upside in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Render I like. That's a good one.
So we've got, I guess you picked Render, you picked Ondo. I guess that makes it easy. I'll take Arrow, but there's several other ones. Near is not bad.
It's too hard to pick because none of us on this table would ever just buy one altcoin.
Well, I just got more bullish.
You know?
He asked for 3. Now he's got 3. He's got Ondo, Arrow, and Render. And so if he wants to rotate into any of those are all solid picks.
Share my screen. I was wondering, that's Render just a month ago. What about the March high? Look at that dollar amount, $4,999.869. Only thing missing is the 420 at the end. So $5 billion market cap. Right now, we're below 2. So see some opportunity there. For Troll and Josh, just miss a bounce by 10 seconds. Liquidity stacking around price and minutes at the moment. Thoughts on the liquidity map for trading over the next 48 hours?
You know what, Borns?
So
Borns? No, not going to do anything about it. No liquidation heat map. My feelings are hurt, man. I am sad right now. No, Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Let's pull it up of FOMO mode here. I already looked at this morning, but what we're going to notice is on the daily, we're probably around break even right now. The 7-day, and here we go. Let me zoom in here for you guys. On the daily, you could see that we are definitely about break even. There is a decent amount opening up underneath us, and I do believe, again, we're going to have that downside pressure here going into the elections, and that's just because of the uncertainty. If you guys haven't been paying attention to poly markets over the weekend, holy smokes. Yeah, it is wild. Like just up, down, pivot, right, left. It's like you're trying to do a GTA cheat code with the markets out there. But when you zoom to the 7 days, actually looking a lot better on the weekly. So I think what markets want is they're starting to become exhausted from just not knowing. And this is the most uncertain our markets have ever been. I was listening to hedge funds all through the weekend on Yahoo Finance talk about, I got to reload this here, but talk about essentially they're giving their clients a menu and they're saying, hey, either, and I put this in the video as well over the weekend. So if you guys haven't watched the Trump versus Harris video, go watch it. It's the most important video right now in terms of getting ready for these elections. But they're pretty much going, DZ, who do you think's going to win? Because they have no clue. So they're like, based off who you think going to win, these are the products you want to either invest into. These are the products you don't want to invest to. But at the same time, it's like 50-50 because if you give that menu to a client and they go all in on one president and the other person wins, they're more than likely going to lose. So they're essentially saying, hold your cash, get ready. And that means, guys, again, a lot of these hedge funds sitting on a ton of cash, tons of stable coins. There's billions of dollars in stable coins from whales and all of these VCs right now ready to invest in these markets. They just don't know which way to invest.
Yep, that's
so
true.
This is why it's so important, especially, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get the election results tomorrow night. We will be live, so make sure you hit that like button, turn on those notifications. We'll be live the entire event. Hopefully, we'll have a really good understanding of who is going to win, because we need to be the first ones to the table when it comes to where is this money going to flow into. Is that going to be around the inauguration all the way in January? Are we going to get a result tomorrow night? Or is that going to be in 7 days? Depending on that outcome, billions of dollars are going to flood into certain sectors. So
yeah, that's true. Way. Yeah, I agree.
I know you guys have thoughts on that as well. Joshua, Jake, are you shorting until tomorrow? Yeah, so for anybody that's wondering here, I opened up our hedge position. It is a very low leverage short, so you're not looking for a ton of volatility. We're only up 1%. It is a 4X. Okay, I know this is hard for a lot of you guys out there, but you need to breathe. You need to have some control. We're going low leverage. Okay, this means I won't get even stopped out for 5% till roughly $70,000. So the reason why we have this here is to position our portfolio against against a negative outcome of these elections. So we are in this. We have a $239,000 position here, 60,000 margin, 4x with a stop loss at about $68,800 or $69,800. And right now we're up 1.26%. So low leverage. That way we're not, dealing with the volatility, but enough to hedge our position against a negative outcome.
I'm in a short-term, higher leverage long right now. We're about 10% in profit right now, so we're just watching it. We're going to be playing with the levels there,
and that's perfect. And I still have a decent amount today that I might trade with, but yeah, this is just the bulk portion to hedge our position there. But moving to the first article here today, guys. Bitcoin set for $6,000 to $8,000 seesaw as U.S. election enters final stretch, and this is exactly why we're in that short position. This is not going to be some smooth roller coaster. This ain't, you're at Disney World in the children's section. This is X2 at Six Flags, California here, where this fire's spitting at you and you may or may not die. While volatility is price agnostic, recent flows in the option market suggest bullish expectations. The tight, I like that, presidential race means the election could move Bitcoin by $6,000 to $8,000, and DEX traders anticipate a bigger swing in Ether. Market participants position for a bullish volatility. Crypto traders awaiting a surge in Bitcoin's price volatility may soon have it their way, as derivative experts suggest that the impending U.S. presidential election could trigger price swings matching dramatic movements of early August. I expect a plus 1.5 or 0.5 sigma here, which again is around $6,000 to $8,000 as a result of post-election price action coming from Greg Magadini. He must be MAGA. Director of derivatives at crypto data tracking platform Amber Data. The projection is based on the analyzed forward volatility of 112% derived from November 6 options trading on Deribit, which suggests a price fluctuation of $4,000 in either direction. Bitcoin last saw a similar price swing in early August when the unwinding of the so-called risk on yen carry traders led to broad-based risk aversion, sending Bitcoin down to $50,000. Wow, we were at 50K only in August.
Yeah, that little scam wick to 49.
It feels like that was years ago. The 50-50 odds, though, indicate that an eventual outcome is unlikely to surprise markets irrespective to who wins. Now, something I want to point out here, because they don't cover it in this article, is I would be on the side of this trader, but the reason I'm very skeptical of it seeing a 6,000 to 8,000 upswing the day afterwards is because the day afterwards we have the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, and that is another unknown. Now we're expecting 25 basis points.
Yeah, cutting interest
rates, exactly. But depending on the verbiage and the tone of that system or that presentation from Jerome Powell, it's going to bring another massive amount of volatility.
I'm pulling up Polymarket right now. We'll look at a live look. And so if you go to Polymarket and then you click on business, then you'll see that. And then I think you have to hit economy here or Fed rates. You find Fed rates. And so here we go. Fed rates in November, drum roll, please. 94%. We're going to see 25 basis. So yeah, expect gigantic volatility if it's anything except that. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and then what was that last part again? Can you pull that chart? Was that a chart?
Yeah, it was just the odds there.
Oh, it was Polymarket.
94%.
94% chance. Yeah, and I think that's like definitely the expectation of this move. So it just depends entirely on that outcome of these elections again. But looking at the 7 days here, I pulled it up. You could see it keeps switching this every time I click on that. But 7 days, here you go. Boom.
Bullish.
Extremely bullish. So the 30-day bearish, but again, this to me, yeah, I think no matter what, the outcome of this is going to be bullish long term. I'm just playing that short term volatility. I think we could easily come down to 66K. I think that's a huge likely. I can
see it even going lower. If I can share my screen real quick, I just watched Crypto Faces stream this, his
He's bearish,
upload.
Isn't he?
Well, he doesn't really choose a direction right now. He's saying, there's no clear direction. I highly recommend everyone go watch that. He doesn't do uploads all that often, but he's basically saying his prediction. I'm going to agree here. Trump wins, short-term pump. Kamala wins, short-term dump. There's like you were saying earlier, a lot of liquidity on the sidelines, waiting for some pretty big candles. And so I could see it. I could see larger wicks than.
You ready for my prediction? No outcome of election tomorrow. Media portrays a Kamala Harris win, reacting that dump. hopefully we get that Trump win in 7 days.
And then you open the gigalong.
And then you open the gigalong. We go Giga Chad. We take advantage of it and we get excited. Sadly, that's the America we live in now at this point. We won't know who wins the elections until a week afterwards. But each U.S. election week has set a Bitcoin price floor that's never been revisited. Let that sink in.
So I'm going to do a video on this. We're going to put it out this evening. We're going to cover the 2012, 2016, 2020. So we have kind of done that in the past, but now we're going to look at weekly candles and what this means for each cycle. There's a very, very surprising fact about election weeks. I had no idea. Even when I did all that research, there's something I didn't quite realize, folks. So I'm going to post out the spreadsheet, put on my old accountant hat, that old, translucent green thing, and we'll dive into the charts and see what the heck's going to happen to Bitcoin after the election. And we might even look at like 3 months later, 6 months later.
You should really get one of those translucent green visors. I could see that.
Yeah, and with the, I have suspenders already. You know, put that, get a pocket protector. Yeah, I'll bust out an abacus. I don't know how to use an abacus, but I'll learn how to use an abacus for these videos.
And Borns is asking, will we be doing an election stream? 100%, guys. So have those notifications ready. We're going to be the first channel probably live covering these around 3 to 4 p.m. tomorrow Eastern. And we're going to be going live with probably a 6 to 8 hour live stream there for you guys, covering the elections the entire night. We'll be having tons of special guests. We actually will have a video cameraman on the grounds at Mar-a-Lago with Bitcoin Magazine. So we'll have hopefully some constituents there that will be calling in and giving us real-time conversations on what's taking place on the floor.
Are you saying we have boots on the ground at Mar-a-Lago?
We have boots on the ground at Mar-a-Lago.
Discover crypto. We have boots on the ground at Mar-a-Lago.
Yep.
How come me or you aren't there? Or are you teaching?
Well, they are, because it was already basically we're helping out Bitcoin Magazine. Yeah. We're coordinating with Simply Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys know. If you haven't checked out Simply Bitcoin, make sure to do it. Nico and Anna. I think Anna is going to be the one that's on camera. So yeah, our videographer there will be there. We're working through the security protocols and all that stuff right now. And
me and Josh are going to have him on the horn, getting all the alpha, getting all the details. We literally have boots on the ground at Mar-a-Lago. And we're going to have Aaron. He's going to go try to open every single door.
No,
see if he can find boxes of documents.
No, he's not.
That's how you get kicked out.
Okay, he won't do that.
We're going to follow all the security protocols to the T.
He's going to hit Secret Service. Yeah. No, the reason why we didn't go is because at the end of the day, I was like, there's no guarantee that Trump does win this election. And I wanted to be live so that we can cover it here at the studio.
Can I just say how cool that is? Everybody hit the like button. I think that's a pretty cool thing that we're doing. And,
I'm jealous of him. Yeah. I want to be there.
I was talking with somebody over the weekend and they were saying, the stories Aaron's going to have, like the places he's been, the people he's seen, he's definitely had some.
I want to see last minute fly out with him.
No, because you can only get 2 people in.
Yeah.
So,
that's right.
We couldn't.
I want to sit on a gold toilet.
Look, hey, this is the road. This is the path Discover Crypto's on. We got some really exciting things coming out. We'll also have a friend of the channel at PBD's house at their live election results as well, calling in.
For those who don't do streaming all the time, that's Patrick Bet David.
Patrick Bet David. So we have a lot of coverage coming to this channel.
All right, let's just have Aaron ask Baron, what's the next meme coin? That's the real alpha. That's the real Mar-a-Lago alpha.
Well, with this week being headlined by the U.S. announcing the results of a particularly polarizing election, I don't think there's that much emotions going on to this election. I think it's pretty chill. Crypto traders are expecting the unexpected. This is particularly true with Bitcoin whales. I'm one of those people, which is why I'm expecting a bit of downside on upside, which have been shown declining amounts of transfers since last week's sudden spike near the top. Look for these spikes in whale Bitcoin transactions are generally reliable signs of potential price reversals for all of cryptocurrency. Passivity is from the whales does not necessitate that prices will go down, as this is a common misconception. Instead, it usually indicates they are awaiting the crowd's reaction to an event and awaiting the volatility that smaller traders create before joining the party. And we're talking about, there's going to be a lot of volatility in the next 48 to 72 hours, especially if there's not an outcome, of these election results. You're going to be looking major price swings. My guess is to the downside because whales, they're sitting on this capital. Whales are sitting on billions of dollars. Warren Buffett's selling billions of dollars in Apple stock, and he's like, look, I'm ready to get my hands wet again.
I think he has like 230 billion now, something like that.
So much cash. Yeah. And all these people with a ton of cash, Jeff Bezos, everybody is selling a lot of cash, and it's because they don't necessarily know who's going to win this election. And again, after those results are in, what do you think they're doing after their Thanksgiving and Christmas? They're going to come in, It's their Black Friday on, January 1st, and they're going to just start raining on new investment products. My guess is AI. My guess is hopefully with the Trump victory, we're looking at revenue sharing DeFi platforms that are focusing on revenue generation from meme coins. That's a huge institutional interest, tons of volume there. And that's what excites me the most, because holy smokes, once we do get that valve to switch and you get those billions of dollars in stables starting to enter that market again, that's easy when we see, and let me pull it up here, the Bitcoin dominance start to break. So if you guys haven't seen this chart here, this is one of the most important charts here. And of course, you can actually see it, I believe, on FOMO.io now. Bitcoin dominance at the top here. You can see 56.96%. Actually, we need to refresh that here because it's up now. So 57%. I want to see what data we're pointing there because it's at 60% here on the charts.
That's probably, the difference is probably including FOMO. It probably has stables included.
Oh, it is stables included. You're 100% right. Yep. Yeah. So this is not including stables on TradingView, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So not including stables, we're at 60.5, which that's a huge point. So 3% of that is stable coins.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
Ton of cash in stable coins right
That's
now.
a lot of money. Guys, that is, what is that? That's billions. That is billions of dollars in stable coins here. That's, you know what? I'll add that as a feature. Maybe we'll put stable coin, like how much money is in stable coin reserves.
Sure.
On the cash there. I think that would be a great feature to have there
I'm pulled
well.
up Bitcoin dominance. I just want to count the green candles. These are daily candles. We're looking at
minus the one.
Let's measure it here. Yeah, we're looking at an insane amount. 12 green days in a row for Bitcoin dominance.
Feels good to be in Bitcoin.
On the Heikinashi.
Oh, Heikinashi is because I got 2 red days. I got 2 red days there. But either way, it doesn't matter. You're looking at that bullish movement here, and we're about to hit the upside of this channel. So if you guys are somebody, type 1 in chat. I'm very curious. Type 1 in chat if the majority of your portfolio is allocated to altcoins. But I imagine it's almost all ones. I've slowly shifted over the last year becoming a trader, but that's just because I only like trading Bitcoin. But at the same time, I still have a ton of Ethereum. I still have a ton of altcoins. We are about to touch the upper level of this band here, and people are projecting here. And I have 2 lines here. These are the 2 biggest dates that all your experts are waiting for. December, between the beginning and end of December is the 8-month average of when you're expected to see an altcoin season based off historical markets. And it is the latest by March. So between December and March, experts believe that that is when the Bitcoin dominance will break to the downside. So your altcoins, and by the way, guys, we can do that. We can do something like this, little dip, then a bounce. But even a downswing from 62% or 60.5% down to 59%, you're going to see a decent move in altcoins. You're going to see probably, 30%, 50%, 100% gains. But the moment this breaks and we see some significant downside, that is when you're finally going to be seeing your altcoins move exponentially.
Explode in value.
Within weeks. It's just going to be up and up.
Well,
and
we
up
got a
and
little
up.
bit of a taste last week, and a lot of your altcoins were pumping double digits like a couple days in a row, and then it kind of got taken away from us. That's what it's going to look like, but even more days in a row. Someone with the super chat, will ETH hold 2K? It's actually a great question here. They, probably trying to set up a trade here. This is the parallel channel we've been staying in within logarithmic chart here. Let me show you something. I didn't mean to sound like Fire Marshal Bill there, but if you go and use some Fibonacci extensions, you go to the swing high, the swing low, you're going to see something pretty important here. They're going to low right here. Look how strong that support was at the 236.
Oh, wow.
And that's above 2,000. That's at 2,143. Now, this is crypto. All things are possible. Could wick down to 1,900. It can. Of course it can. It can go down to the previous low, 1,500. I don't see ETH going below 2K potentially ever for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I think if you see below 2K, I'm going heavy into the market. I think that would be a emotional reaction. That's crazy, though. That's a big price drop.
Yeah.
What was that, the daily or the weekly?
This the daily 3 days. Oh crap, those are 3-day candles we're looking at here.
Yeah, so that's a long time frame. He's asking. We'll dig into it a little bit more. He was talking in chat previously in the stream. He's got a trade open right now on Ethereum that he's down on. He's trying to decide if he should cut his losses. I think he said his liquidation was 1919, something like that.
He's in a long.
Yeah, he's in a low leverage long, and he's down a little, from 2,600. I would say hold it. Now you're gonna have to hold it for a long time, but let's break down that whole trade tomorrow, because I was telling him we're gonna be live all day. We've got
I'll be doing trades all day
tons of time to break down trades, because there's obviously a lot of factors to consider when you're considering cutting losses and all that sort of stuff.
Well, speaking of swinging trades, we have swing state odds coming out here with huge % chance of winning. And this is, again, why I've hedged myself to the downside here, because markets are anticipating, and you can see it from our chat, 88% of people believe, or 85% believe Trump is going to be the victor here. And if that becomes uncertain tomorrow, I expect some downside, because Arizona looks like we have a Trump at a 76% swing rate on poly markets here. Georgia, 64%, Nevada, 59%, and Pennsylvania, Trump at 54%, leaving out only Wisconsin and Michigan. And those have been incredibly volatile. There's other polls indicating that we might actually be able to pull out a Wisconsin win as well here. So swing states looking very, very strong in favoring Trump in the betting markets out there, but only time will tell. Breaking news. Geiger Capital, who predicted every state in 2020, releases official 2024 prediction map. You're now starting to get those final predictions here coming out heavily in Trump's favor. Again, actually taking Pennsylvania, and there it is right here, actually seeing a lean to the right in Wisconsin here, gaining 10 more electoral college votes here. And then, of course, taking the lead not only in Georgia, but as well Nevada and Arizona.
And North Carolina? Is that North Carolina?
And North Carolina. Yeah. North Carolina, he's been crushing it. The last 4, he's done like 3 or 4 rallies there that are explosive. His Virginia crowd was absolutely massive. So they're pulling a lot of voters there. You also had Tim Kaine, which is very funny because everybody's saying, if you guys didn't see the SNL kit, this made me respect him a little bit more. There's a lot of I don't know what the right term for that. The fact that he came out and did that and took that joke and had that humor.
A little bit of self-deprecation there that we appreciated. He didn't take himself too seriously.
Not at all, because he was coming out 2016. Everybody's saying this was the end of democracy. You had to vote. Like Donald Trump was a threat, Hillary Clinton. And there is the funniest joke I heard last night that I never thought of in my life. I forgot who was even saying it, but they said Hillary Clinton is a psychopath. And this is the reason why. It's because, think about this. She wanted to be president so bad, she was going to take over the Oval Office, the very office where Clinton got down with Monica Lewinsky. Or was it Lewinsky?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Lewinsky. Crazy to think about, because usually when that happens, you want to get out of the house. She wanted to take control back. And I was just laughing at that joke. But either way, Tim Kaine came out. He was the vice president runner to Hillary Clinton. Looks very similar to Tim Walz. I don't know if you pulled him up.
I don't know if you got, did either of you watch SNL?
I did watch it, yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
That's where it came out. He came out and he was they're asking like name who he is, like what's it was a good
John Mulaney. John Mulaney. No? I could pull it up. I actually had Hillary Clinton passing out.
Yeah, something else.
But well, it's like 8 minutes long. That's the only thing. It's like 5 minutes. But yeah, Tim Kaine was the guy's name. It's like, just say his name.
Just say it.
I wouldn't have got it right. I thought it was Lieberman, so I was totally wrong.
What's crazy is we have JP Morgan coming out and forecasting a 60 to 70% chance of Trump winning the elections. As the market speculates who could be the next president, JP Morgan estimates 60 to 70% chance of this. It noted that volatility in the G10 currencies has increased leading up to the election, reaching new highs. It also underscored that the current election volatility is 10 to 30% higher than 2016 and 2020. Crazy to watch here, coming from JP Morgan.
Be careful. I pulled up New York Times 2016. These were the odds that they gave their 2 candidates at the same time.
Good grief.
That was 2016 New York Times odds.
Insane. Well,
that was at this stage in the election?
The day before, they said there was a poll.
Yeah, it was the day before. This is the day before. Yeah. Same exact time at this point in 2 elections.
And that's actually a lower one. There was a 90+% one.
Yeah, it was a 90%.
There was quite a few. It was crazy. So they got that wrong. But if you guys want to know what the average price performance of Bitcoin is after presidential elections, check out DZ's video going out tonight. He explains what the 3-month average believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that
based
chart
off
as well.
The following. But Standard Chartered analyst predicts Bitcoin price to surge to $125K based off the post-election cycle. In a recent report, Standard Chartered's global head of digital assets research, Geoff Kendrick, outlined his team's analysis of Bitcoin's potential price movements following the U.S. price, of course, the election here. So $125,000. Standard end-of-year target would be $125 here. That is by the end of December. not the end of 2025.
So 125 by the end of the year?
End of the year.
Heck yeah, 125. I'll take that. Sounds good to me.
On the other hand, though, that is if Trump wins. If Kamala Harris wins the presidency, Kendrick expects Bitcoin to trade lower initially. However, we'll anticipate that we end the year at 75K.
Oh.
So downside with Harris, then upside towards the end.
Yeah, $50,000 price differential. This is kind of major right there. Now, of course, these are all guesses, but yeah, Standard Charter saying 50K difference for Bitcoin.
Well, moving to key events this week, U.S. president election on Tuesday, ISM on Tuesday, initial jobs on Thursday, Fed interest rate decision on Thursday, so just less than 2 days after the presidential election, consumer sentiment on Friday, and of course, 15% of the S&P 500 companies report earnings. Crazy.
Now, I like how they say, are you ready for the busiest week of the year? This is the actual only week of all 52 weeks. Now it's actually true. Because, we do have the Fed rate and we have the election. So, I've seen a lot of, this is the most important week in finances. It's been true, but this one's definitely the most important week of all of 2024.
Well, we've also got China printing 10 trillion yuan, I believe, on the 8th.
Yeah, starting, they're going to start, it's a multi-year plan, but starting on the 8th.
Yeah, and which is about, what, 1 or 2 trillion US or something like that?
Yeah, and their previous stimulus packages were only about that 1 to 2 trillion. So seeing a 10 trillion package is massive.
Well, I'm very curious to see what Gary the Lizard is predicting as he knobs on some bananas. He's on his third banana in 1 day. Is this the third banana in one stream?
His potassium is off. You know what?
Off the charts,
Kazakhstan has the best potassium. Other countries' potassium inferior.
Well, yeah, and as Henry points out, the potassium is mostly in the peel. If you didn't know this, Gary the Lizard actually just swallows the peel whole after he finishes the banana to make sure he eats that potassium. But Bitcoin open interest dropped significantly. Some longs and shorts chose to close their positions before the U.S. election. This is very bullish, actually.
Well, yeah, and it's pretty common too. And this is something that people that trade a lot, if you, and I will say this, if you're not an experienced trader, a lot of professional traders do shy away from trading events like this. Like they shy away from trading earnings. They shy away from trading Fed rate decisions. And, obviously the election is about as volatile as it can get. So if you're a trader, you're using technical analysis to get an edge in the market. And when there's so much uncertainty, a lot of times you can lose that edge. A lot of the pros will just close their positions, sit back, take this week off, and then reassess next week. So to Josh's point, though, the clearing out the order books does create good opportunity for movement. So yeah, this is bullish in my opinion.
Yeah, especially when you see institutional interest, that buying pressure. I mean, we have hundreds of millions per day. Blackrock setting records. Again, I am shorting the market here, but long term, this is just simply a swing trade here, guys, for the elections to hedge my position. I will recalculate and redistribute those positions here after the election. So it's right now we're up about $1,500, up only 2.4%. Again, this is gonna be very slow here, but I would like to see this close for about 10% here by the end of the elections out there. We have, of course, inside Bitcoin reserves held on exchanges showing a significant decline.
They're running out, guys.
Goes with the open interest. Open interest is declining, but of course the supply on exchanges is very limited, and that demand is there. The demand hasn't left. The demand is just paused, right? They're waiting for the outcome of these elections. They want to know if they can go all in. And again, December 12th. So after elections, I'm going to give you the next important date. The most important date after elections is going to be December 12th. And that, of course, is going to come down to Microsoft's board meeting on if they're going to invest into Bitcoin. If we have a very bullish outcome of this election, I think you see that. I think the answer is predetermined. I think it's BS that they're going to discuss this at this board meeting and make that decision finalized. I think it is finalized. I think they're saying if a Donald Trump wins, we're going to invest. If Kamala Harris wins, we're going to be cautious because they're going to be coming at this industry as a national security threat, especially after the conversations at BRICS and Elizabeth Warren's response to that. So I think there's a little bit of tread the water carefully, but I think they would go all in at that, and that's a domino effect.
This right here,
Microsoft does it. Oof.
This right here, this chart is one of the most bullish charts I've ever seen. The exchanges running out of Bitcoin, that supply shock is going to hit, whether it's later this year or 2025, that will happen. That supply shock will hit, and it's going to be substantial. That's what's going to send the price soaring. When people go to buy and they can't, and the price is pumping, they'll say, just buy it. I just want, these rich people, they'll say, just get 10 Bitcoin wherever you can get it. Pay whatever price you can. I don't care. I'm going to hold it for the next 50 years. And we will see, I think we're going to see a major Bitcoin pump because there will be an extreme supply shock.
And I want to point out something on the chart too, TJ, here is at 55K, people don't realize this, but the two biggest drops in exchange supply was when we went to 55K. So this is why when people are like, I'm going to go to 49K, I'm going to go to 37K. It's like, okay, you keep saying that as a retailer, but institutions are laughing at you. They're absorbing that supply at 55K.
Absolutely.
So what would get us to 50K? What would get us to 45K? You are not only a bear, you're betting on like a, what, World War III? Collapse in the banking system? Like, what takes us? It would have to be like a tether collapse, which we all know is not going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't see, there's nothing I see right now that could be a narrative that gets us that low. The strongest narrative we had was tensions in the Middle East. That's more or less run its course at this point. It's having less and less impact every time there's news. Sure, if we get a major ground invasion somewhere, we would see a short-term, couple-day pullback. But to your point, every time we've seen any kind of substantial pullback, it's been gobbled up like crazy, and that's not going to change.
Yeah, and can we get, guys, spam L's in the chat for the Bears, because there's always going to be that one person out there that's like, oh, Tether is evil. And it's like, okay, well, if they're so evil, show me your short position. Show me that you refinance your house and you're all in on a short position if you're so confident this is going to happen. Those are black swan events. They're unpredictable. We don't know if they can actually happen or not. That's why they're called a black swan event. So I wanted just an L for the Bears out there that have wiped out their entire communities since $15,000. They keep calling for these bad position plays. We're still in a bull market. There's a little bit of uncertainty with the elections, but guys, the outcome of this is more Bitcoin mining. Even if Kamala Harris wins, Russia's going to be like, all right, well, we're just going to evade everything you do with Bitcoin mining. That pushes us to 250K. So Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. This is 250 by 2030 minimum, right? Minimum. Now, does this mean it's going to be hard for altcoins? Of course. But we'll be able to navigate that industry and invest accordingly as it comes out. But Bitcoin supply is being crunched.
I pulled up, since we're this low, it was 2018 when it comes to Bitcoin on exchanges. As exchanges got a little bit more popular, but this is going to be super low because we had exchanges actually collapse a few years prior to this. But yeah, you can see, did that matter? Did it change the bull run of 2021? Yeah, you can see just started to decline right there at the bottom. And then
what was the price?
Probably a good year or so, it was falling off exchanges. And then even as exchanges got more Bitcoin still can pump.
Well, we get the boom, as those Costco guys would say, as breaking news. Speaking of Bitcoin mining, T-Mobile, one of the largest telecom providers in the world, is beginning mining with Bitcoin with surplus renewable energy. It's almost like we've covered this for years. It's almost like I've been telling you guys since 2020, Blackrock was going to come into this space. They were going to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF. They're going to take advantage of renewable energy and use the inefficient and surplus of excess energy in the world and convert it into Bitcoin mining. This is what they want to do. Why switch this out? TJ had a conversation with me this morning, and I've been covering this for a long time, and I 100% agree. Why switch it out for carbon credits when you can actually mine Bitcoin? And get this, TJ, this is what I talked to Ron DeSantis about in the private dinner we went to about a year ago when he was running for presidency. I asked him directly to his face, if Bitcoin proves to be ESG, can not only these individual companies like T-Mobile mine Bitcoin, can they still access those carbon credits and get those government checks that are like that pay you out for those carbon credits? And the answer was unknown. I think you're going to see us transition more and more to this because Bitcoin mining could be done in a clean way. And if you're using those clean energy initiatives, you're reducing those carbon emissions, you're reducing those CO2 emissions, you qualify for those carbon credits.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect rotation into more profits, more GDP, and more growth for all of these corporations.
Well, and what's interesting
win-win-win-win
is the wealthiest companies of the world are already predisposed to thinking this way because of the thing with carbon credits. To your point, like the Googles, the Apples, T-Mobile, all these companies that have an excess of cash and success, they've been forced into basically converting and creating excess energy and converting it to carbon credits, and it hasn't really paid off for them. And now if you see companies like this taking their excess energy and converting it into Bitcoin, it really it's basically a much better version, a much more decentralized, non-political version of carbon credits. And if people can learn to start thinking of Bitcoin as like that, like basically it's the highest and best use of energy, and taking any excess energy and using it and storing it in Bitcoin is what's best for the world. That could take on a pretty strong narrative, and to Josh's point, really push us to insane highs for the next decade, let alone next year.
Yeah. It's an insane. If I was a billionaire, I would launch a corp. There's a like the Texas garbage patch that's in the middle of the ocean, not Puerto Rico, but the actual one. You know,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I would be taking. There's a young kid that's actually already trying to develop this, but there's like conveyor belts that pick it up and burn it into the atmosphere.
Solar powered.
Exactly. Like you can capture that and even turn that into a profitable, position as well. So it's such a powerful mechanic. And someone in chat said, "Man, Josh, you're turning me into Bitcoin maxi." I'm not a Bitcoin maxi at all. I just understand the value of that when it comes to your governmental policies, these ESG standards and everything, how companies can drive more GDP growth from them. Bitcoin is guaranteed, in my opinion, for that next 10, 15, 20 years, where all these smart contract protocols gotta be, you're investing in the companies essentially. You're testing the next Amazons, the next Googles, but within that, there's gonna be a ton of projects that, grow and fail. But yeah, it is really surreal just to see this take place. What's next, though, for political meme coins? In-depth look at Politify sector's future. Type in chat what political meme coins you hold. But these tokens in this sector specifically enjoyed a solid year as, of course, we approach these election cycles. What I would say is simply this, guys. Political tokens are going to go die after elections. Whoever wins this election, like if Trump wins, I think MAGA could perform. But I would be very, very cautious with a buy the rumor, sell the news event, and then that kind of settle out.
Pulled up MAGA. MAGA's up 24% today.
Yep.
But when you zoom out a little bit, it had a significant pullback. So it's actually still down for.
Yeah, if he wins, I think you pump, but then dump. I think it's just because you get like meme coins are only as hyped up from like Twitter and everything. So if nobody's talking about elections, no one's talking about political meme coins, what's next? So just something you have to be aware of.
Yeah, guys, meme coins are get out. I don't really understand this. I mean, there is some opportunity to hold it, but if you get into a meme coin and you're up substantial, I would take profits as quickly as you can. If you put a few $100s in and it turns into anything meaningful, whatever that is to you, whatever meaningful is to you, get it out. And don't what would you be doing holding political meme coins in 2025 or 2026?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it.
DZ's peanuts are growing in GDP because of all this alpha. So congratulations,
it's all the peanuts.
DZ.
It's all the peanut chatter out there.
Rest in peace, peanut chat. Can we get rest in peace, rip peanut and Fred in the chat right now?
This is my favorite. This shows the bias on political or on social media or whatever. I don't think this is actually true, but based on the social media outcry over peanut, it almost feels like that squirrel and raccoon could flip New York red for the first time in my lifetime, which would just be insane. Possible. I don't think it's going to happen, but it feels that way.
I just love that the left was like, they're not eating dogs again, and then they just kill squirrels. Like, it's like, really, you just went and killed pets?
Well, they broke into somebody's home too, which is crazy. I mean, just
4 departments and a judge signed off.
Yeah, and it very much gives UK vibes of the way they're going after people in social media, and it gives that same energy.
Let me explain this for some people might not even know what we're talking about right now. So if you guys don't know, in New York, 4 different departments and a New York judge signed off on a raid into this influencer's household. They run a pet rescue, and apparently they got the search warrant and everything needed from these 4 different departments and the judge to sign off on getting the raccoon and the squirrel here. This is Fred here. Fred was the raccoon, and then the squirrel here.
I have the squirrel holding a waffle.
Let's pull up a picture of the squirrel here on DZ screen. Yeah, super sad. This is this is governmental overreach. That's exactly what happened here. They took the raccoon and the squirrel, who have been going viral on social media for years, and they euthanized them in front of this family. So they straight up it's disgusting.
Basically,
there's no way around this.
Basically, he was supposed to have a license, and since he didn't have a license, they broke into his home, took the squirrel and put it and the raccoon and put it down.
And they euthanized. Yeah, there was no get the license. It was
they just killed it. And it's like, if this is what we're using government resources for, there's never been a better endorsement for Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, illegal immigrants can come in and beat up a cop, and they get away, hands free. But if you're a squirrel or a raccoon that's been rescued in an adorable little pet, you're euthanized.
Nick Kraus, it has a token. The token is fresh. Just be careful with this token. The token had a significant pullback. I think it went from $130 million market cap. Now peeled off about half of those gains, 50 million. Just beware, we could be setting new lows. We just put in a new low 4 hours ago. And you can see new low, new low, new low. You know, is this going to reverse the trend? I don't know.
Henry said he did have the license. Yeah, I don't know the full story.
So,
it doesn't even matter what the story or the outcome is. It's the fact that these individuals are on like they are viral. They have huge platforms. Everybody knows they rescue animals. That's their entire platform. And it is insane that police officers came in, raided, got 4 sign-offs from departments and a judge, took these pets. Like when they showed up, you know what I mean? It's not like they showed up and this was a hoarder's house and like gross animals. It was like a clearly adorable pet that probably walked right up to them. They grabbed. I don't even want to know how sad that was.
What's
man.
crazy to me is
disgusting.
And to make that happen in the state of New York, like what do you like? That's probably $300,000 at least.
Yeah, it's like, and how many other problems there are?
If not $500,000.
That's what they're using taxpayer dollars to do.
I think they have 20 million rats in New York City.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was someone posted that. I think right. There was like a whole thing on like 3 million rats or whatever.
DJ, share my screen.
Oh, I think it was David Sachs.
Look at the volume on this thing. This thing is just going crazy. People are just buying this thing like it's going out of style. When you check the time, you can't see it on here, but time it would just say 0 seconds ago, 0 seconds ago. Then it would say 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. So people are just going crazy buying this.
Someone said that this needs to be a political ad. They already posted on TikTok. It has like 16, 20 million views. It's going viral.
Well, and according to Henry here, he says he applied for the license. It was signed, but he hadn't received it yet. It was a rescue squirrel that could not live in the wild because he'd had it for 7 years.
Yep.
So it's just like, come on.
It's just so sad. And that's what they're defending is this. It's crazy. So
he also
anyways,
rescued it from a state where you can have rescue. But then he moved to that was also like, state line.
It's just crazy. New York's disgusting, dude. Like it's like the rats, man.
The
like
pee.
Really, that's what
the poop on the sidewalk.
You went for the cute squirrel and it's terrible. But anyways, rest in peace to Peanut and Fred. Vote for Trump if you want to save the pets. Breaking off the grid just dropped.
Oh, I saw
Trump
this.
and Kamala skins. This is crazy. This was funny. This is genius.
The build a wall emote is
Watch
diabolical.
This, guys. This is funny.
Do you have? Are you connected to the? Oh yeah, we do.
Still
I got your audio.
What happened to hot women in games? What's with all these woke hero characters nobody cares about? Support beautiful.
Yeah, the wall emote is wild.
The wall emote is so cracked, dude. That is the. Here's Kamala. Kamala is funny, dude. Kamala looks like. It's funny how they made her. She looks like she's from The Purge. Got a Purge mask on.
Mm-hmm.
Swapping out right cyber arm for something more energy efficient.
She's a total disaster, folks. She's got nothing.
Off the grid
no strategy,
clearly
no
favors
skill,
Trump.
and absolutely no coconut.
Funny, dude. Absolutely fun. That is hysterical. They need to add that to Call of Duty. That's what I'm saying. I'll run that skin every day.
Alternative emote could have done the Trump dance. You know, he added the golf swing. That would have been a good emote as well.
That would have been good. Kamala Harris, they should have done the laugh. They should have done the hyena
shoulder.
laugh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like she could play the Joker.
Nightmares.
Yeah, rip your ears.
U.S. Justice Department pursues, that was accurate, return of $13 million in political contributions linked to, of course, FTX here. CBDC Huawei is integrating digital yuan into its Harmony OS next operating system. Some big advancements here. City Fidelity exhibited proof of concept for real-time Forex swap on chain. Guys, I keep telling you about tokenization, multi-assets, derivatives markets. All these things are going to be accessed through, of course, none other than RWA.xyz. Let's go ahead and check it out, DZ. It's been a few days. I don't know if we checked it Friday. Are we up or down? We are. Drum roll. Oh, we're down just a little bit, down 2% here. So I do think, though, that this is going to, we're still ending the year. Prediction was 3 to 5 billion. So I still think we're going to end this very solidly after the election outcome there. And that's why we're still investing. But Singapore creates networks of commercialized digital asset tokenization. I spoke too soon. More tokenization coming out. Binance co-founder Yi, he responds to rumors about altcoin listings. What is this here? Simon, CEO of cryptocurrency advisory and investment firm Moonrock, claimed that a tier 1 project received a listing request from Binance. But Binance had to give 15% of the token supply in exchange for the listing. While Binance claims that the unnamed project requested 15% of the token supply for listing caused a great repercussion in the market, Binance co-founder denied these claims and explained Binance altcoin listing policy. So just a little bit of FUD coming out from, of course,
this too. There was actually a lot on. If you go look in the comments in there, you got CZ in there, you've got Justin Sun, Andre Cronje. A lot of people calling BS on Brian Armstrong's. They don't charge for listings because many people have been charged for listing on Coinbase. It might just be a technical detail of like, no, we don't charge you. We just require you to give us a bunch of your tokens. We're not charging you dollars.
There's a black market for it. That's huge.
Yeah.
Like that. Maybe it is free through their client, but then they give it the third party charges $1 million. You know what I mean? So they're paying a third party client service to list tokens for them, and that third party is
they're separated.
Very, exactly.
I always like how people would point at, well, Bitcoin didn't pay money to get on the exchange. Like, shut up. It's not 2012. Like, calm down. Okay. That's not gonna happen
was the
anymore.
exchange. There was no there. That's why they built it, you know?
But Bitcoin didn't pay Coinbase. That's all right. We understand.
Yeah. We got it.
We get the point. We get
yeah,
the point.
that's what Andre Cronje or whatever.
Cronier,
thank you. Binance charges $0. Coinbase has asked us for 300 million, 50 million, 30 million, and recently 60 million. Lots of respect, but this simply isn't true here. Yeah, absolutely insane.
Justin Sun said the same thing. There was a handful of people under there at CZ, but basically CZ, I liked his response. I don't know if it shows up. I might show up on mine.
I'm blocked, so it won't pop up
here.
Yeah,
Binance charges $0. Coinbase required us to pay 500 mil TRX worth 80 million, and then demanded 250 million Bitcoin deposit in Coinbase custody. Boost their performance.
Yeah, and
this is simply not true.
Yeah, a lot of times they require amount of tokens for their earn program. But you scroll down right there. That's the important thing. What CZ said basically says, I appreciate the support and the validation from someone who runs 2 competing exchanges, but we should try to reduce this type of, basically quota tax and build more unity in the industry. And I think that is the important message there. And I agree with CZ, and a great leadership exhibited by him once again.
Yeah.
Shout out to anybody in this trade. We're about to break below $68,000. We're up roughly almost $3,000 here, 4.5%. So that hedge is playing out as altcoins set to bleed. Analyst warns of bear market before, of course, 2025. This is coming from Benjamin Cowan here. It looks like he's talking about that Bitcoin dominance once again. One reckoning grand finale is what he's saying, that Bitcoin dominance will shoot up. And it looks like, of course, altcoins will bleed heavy. So be just ready. We did lose some support here on those altcoins, which could show us, again, that we get some volatility into the next week or so because of this election. And then you get that bullish outcome here. So whether or not this catches some support, does look like, according to Benjamin Cowan here, that the altcoin reckoning should be through November, end by December. And we get that final projection to the upside here moving into 2025. What a long journey here, guys. Crazy to see that play out. Of course, more tokenization funds being launched here. Ethereum will follow suit with, of course, that breakout pattern of that Bitcoin dominance. But if you guys haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel because we have an insane election video dropping tonight that you need to watch from DZ that's going over, of course, all of the potential outcomes of Bitcoin's price, so you can be ready for no matter the outcome of this election, guys. We may or may not be live later tonight, so if you haven't already, come join the Telegram. We are going to be prepping for, of course, the massive live stream tomorrow. So we got a lot of things that we got to do today, a lot of things that we need to put together. But ultimately, yeah, guys, go join the Telegram because we are already hedged here. Anybody that's in that Telegram, your portfolios are not only perfectly hedged already, they're up 5%. So we are hedging those positions. We are prepared for no matter the outcome of those elections, and that is what you get at Discover Crypto. So, guys, hit that like button, turn on those notifications. DZ, if you got anything, I'm ready for lunch.
Cardano to the moon. Had to do a Cardano.
Oh, well, he got it there.
All right, that's all we got.
Peace out, guys.